It's 2024. The Euros are coming up in Germany. Nobody cares. Eurovision is coming to Sweden. Boring. Russell Crowe turned 60. Who? None of that is nearly as important as whether Klagsvik can win their 22nd title in the new Faroe Islands season. And since all my other videos have been about Faroese football, why break a habit now? So let's have a look at the runners and riders of the 2024 Faroese Premier League season. 23 was Skála's lucky number last season. They won 23 out of 27 games, finished 23 points clear of third place, and Portuguese striker Carlos Ferreira scored 23 goals. They won promotion to the top tier for the third time in 5 seasons, and their last 2 attempts in the top flight have both finished with 1 win and 10th place. Their manager is Paulie Poulsen, who is going into his 2nd season, but his 6th season with the club overall, having previously taken the hot seat between 2014 and 2017. He's also had stints at NSI Runavík, B68 top tier and 07 Vester. Nobody from the title-winning squad has moved out of the club, so you'd like to think they might do better than last place this time. They've made a couple of signings, including, delightfully, a player called Skála. Midfielder Ragnar Skála comes in from Argir. He's not even the only Ragnar to come in, as Ragnar Lindholm comes in from B68 top tier. He actually started last season at Skála, but left to join B68, but after not really making the team, he's back in at Skála. NSI Runavík are a tricky one to predict this year, as their relegation 2 seasons ago was so wildly unexpected. They were chasing down Skála for the title, but lost their last 3 matches to eventually finish 13 points behind. Their big transfer stories this winter surround 2 former players returning home. Club legend Clement Olsen is back after spending last season on loan at Icelandic side Breiðablik. He helped make history there, as they became the first team to reach a European group stage, having started in the Champions League preliminary qualifying round. He is now back in Runavik alongside Peter Knudsen, who left the club in 2021 to join Danish side Lyngby. After 2 seasons in Denmark, he was picked up last summer by American megastars El Paso Locomotive. You've heard of them? They play in the USL Championship, the 2nd tier in the USA. Speaking of America, Runavik have also signed B71 Sandor's American captain James Dry. They've also brought in Adi Turcic from Hasselholms in the Swedish 2nd tier, and Jasper van der Heyden, who impressed last season at 07 Vester. Their manager is still Samuel Erik Henser, known as Baggy Henser, who was brought in to replace Toddy Jonsson but couldn't prevent NSI going down. The club stuck with him though, and he's led them back up. Since starting management with Argir in 2002, he's managed B36, HB and Voichinga. OIF have been a little quiet on the transfer front, but the big name coming back is Uros Stoyanov. The club will be hoping he'll repeat his 17-goal season from 2020. Stoyanov is 35 now, but still found the net 8 times for 07 Vester last season. He's not the only Serb at the club either, as Alex Jovovic is in the dugout for the 3rd consecutive season. After securing top flight survival on the last day of last season, they'll be hoping to do it a little bit sooner this year. In finishing 7th last year, B68 top tier scored 29 goals, but 12 of those have left the club this winter. Mohamed Samba has gone to HB, and 20-year-old Jorgen Nielsen has gone to Voichinga. Hoping to pick up the goal scoring is new signing Brian Jakobsen, who scored 11 goals for Argir but was unable to help them avoid the drop. Also coming into the squad is Faroe Borg, who has moved from FC Høyvik, and if that surname sounds familiar, yes, he is the son of Jakob Borg, the top tier manager, who is going into his 3rd season at the helm. EB Strømmen are another club whose strikers have left to go up the league a bit. Guti Dahl Olsen has made the move to B36 and Ronnie Hansen has joined Voichinga. Coming into the squad to try and make the push back to the top half is Bubakar Dabo, making the move from B68 top tier. Sigfriður Clemensen is the boss, going into his 2nd season at the club, but 4th overall, as he's in his 2nd stint here, having previously managed in 2008 and 2009. 07 Vester had a great season last year, breaking into the top 5 for the first time, but I do worry they'll struggle to do it again. A few reasons. Number 1, I do think NSI will be pushing for an impressive return season. Number 2, they've got a brand new manager for this coming season, Stefan Landro. He's a Norwegian manager taking his first job outside of Norway, having previously managed Nest Sotra, Sandnes Ulf and Ulkisa. And 3, they've lost a lot of players. Due to loans ending and transfers out, they've lost over 10 players. Perhaps the most eye-catching is Stefan van Dijk, who has swapped hemispheres entirely. to go to Christchurch United in New Zealand. Magnus Jakobsen and Matthias Voss have both gone to HB, and 21-year-old goalkeeper Ari Petersen, who started every game last season, is now at Klaksvik. 07 Vester have bought in 7 players from the Norwegian and Danish leagues, including former Manchester City and Southampton youth player Benjamin Smales Braithwaite, who recently played for Barrow but comes to Vester from Danish side Vendsyssel alongside Mats Christiansen. A trio of Norwegians, Philip Brattbakk from Raufoss, Kevin Egil Jonsson from Arendal, and Emil Gruen Pedersen from Vindbjart all come into the Faroese League as well. And I will give you 100 kroner if I have got all those pronunciations right first time. B36 have finished outside the top 3 for 4 seasons in a row now, but only missed out last season due to a final day defeat. Their manager, Dan Broomsvik, is going into his 4th season in charge and has strengthened around the pitch to shoot for that top 3. Jelle van der Heyden, no relation to Jasper van der Heyden from earlier, has joined from Finnish top flight team EFK Mariehamn, based on the Åland Islands. Vilmar Rönnberg has come across from Varbergs, who were just relegated after the Swedish top flight. Marius Lind has joined from nearby Argir, and Bjarti Mork has made the switch from the other side of the ground, moving from HB to B36. Matthias Lammerger made the same move a few years ago and now is arguably the national team's #1 goalkeeper. He is, however, not at B36 anymore, having made the move to Denmark to join FC Fredericia. HB have another new manager occupying probably the hottest hot seat in the league. Adolfo Sormani is the new man, a former assistant manager at Watford under Gianfranco Zola, and whose last job was managing Lavello in Italy's Serie D. I mentioned Mohamed Samba coming in from B68 top tier, but also joining up front is Emmanuel Agiman Dua, a Ghanaian striker brought in from Swedish side AFC Eskilstuna. Adrian Justinason is the big name to leave the club, joining Danish second tier side Hillerød, ending a 10-year association with HB. And he's not the only long-serving player to go. Dano Soilu has gone to title rivals Klaksvik after 6 years with HB. One more interesting departure is 16-year-old Thomas Bjorn Miesen, who has been picked up by FC Copenhagen. A name for the future, perhaps. Oh, also, HB have already won silverware this season, beating Klaksvik 3-2 in the Super Cup. Runagata are a title contender, having finished runner-up in the last 2 seasons and have closed the gap to Klaksvik in the process. Johan Peter Poulsen is the longest-serving manager in the league, having taken over halfway through 2020 and has been at the club in some form since 2015. They've had quite a quiet transfer window with only 2 in and 1 out. As I said, Jorgen Nielsen has joined from B68 Toftir and Rani Hansen has come in from EV Strømmen, both strikers to help replace Martin Kleen, who has gone to the Icelandic League to play for Njarðvík. Stop that video! Breaking news, not only has Martin Kleen left Njarðvík after just 2 months, he's been re-signed by Runagata. Klaksvik are chasing down their 4th title in a row, and you wouldn't really be surprised if they got it. Manager Magni Hosseth left in January to take over at Lyngby after 1 memorable season at the reigning champs. But after just 50 days and 2 matches, both defeats, he's already been sacked. A bit of a weird decision, with a statement that apologised to him for sacking him. Anyway, Klaksvik are sticking with Norwegians and have brought in Håkon Lunov, who briefly worked as an analyst with Everton's youth team and was on Ronny Delia's coaching team at Celtic. He joins from Norwegian 3rd tier side Fram Larvik. Alongside Dano Soilu from HB and Ari Petersen from Vester, Klaksvik have also brought in Cedric Yambere, who has 13 international caps for the Central African Republic and has made the switch from Cypriot top tier side Doxa Katakopias. They also welcome Peter Pettersson back to the Faroe Islands after he left HB last season to go to Akureyri in Iceland. I've never learned how to say that properly, sorry. Some of the names that leave the club include some of the European heroes, goalkeeper Jonathan Johansson, Luke Cassie and Vigard Foran amongst them. Despite this, I think Klaksvik are more than capable of another successful European campaign, even if group stage football might be hard to replicate, but you never know. There's one more transfer story I want to mention, as First Division Argir have signed a former Liverpool youth player. Marley Blair has come in from English non-league side Farsley Celtic, which no, he's not Liverpool, but he is no stranger to the Nordics, having played for 2 seasons at Keflavik in Iceland. The season gets started yesterday. Oh no, we're already late. It's already underway, it's already happening. As ever, I'll keep a watchful eye on it and keep you abreast of things in the Betri Dieldon. Bet3 going into their 7th year of sponsorship now. Plus, we'll see how the big boys do in Europe. Good luck everyone, and tack for watching.